We are back with more news, and this week we got some Apple stuff to talk about, we got some Xbox stuff to talk about, and of course we got more as we, together, as a people, check it out. Alright, welcome to another sensational Saturday. This is Mike, and this is Mike Text It Out, where I bring you the tech news. And you know what we gotta do, we gotta check it out about that new Apple MacBook, about those Xbox games that people were excited about, possibly, and about virtual reality. Is virtual reality back in the news? It very well possibly could be, because we all know Half-Life Alyx dropped and it was hot. Alright, I've been playing it, I really love it. I think Half-Life Alyx is like one of the most well-rounded VR games. Like, it's a full game experience. Like, if you took it out of VR and changed some stuff around, obviously, it could still be a competent first-person shooter as far as the story, gameplay, etc. And that's kind of what sets it apart from what's out there now. If you wanted like a more narrative-driven shooter, there just wasn't anything in VR that was compelling, in my opinion. But apparently a lot of people feel that way, because according to this report, it looks like on Steam there's been more than 1 million active VR users added since Half-Life Alyx came out. Now, I know people were hyped about it. I had to fight to get my Oculus Quest around Christmas time. It was sold out. Like, they were just going like bananas. And in fact, according to the Engadget article, it says 44.6% of that million were Oculus users that were added, and then 30.6% were HTC users. So maybe Steam themselves aren't moving as many headsets as they planned, but either way, either you're buying a headset and getting the game for free, or if you don't have a Valve headset, you're buying the game either way. So they're making money, and I think the whole point of this game was to bring more users into the space, because it's really been a big focus of Valve, except for on Mac OS, like we covered last week, because they kicked them to the curb. They was like, sorry, your graphics just ain't popping enough to be doing all this. Like, you got strong ambitions, and we respect you for it, right? We respect you. Respect. But it just ain't popping off like that. So I'm really happy about it. Now, obviously, a lot of these new users could have been existing users who just hadn't logged in on Steam before, especially with the Oculus crowd, because really, if you play games exclusively in the Oculus ecosystem, then there's very few reasons to go to Steam VR. Like, personally, I have games on both, because a lot of the times the games on Steam will be cheaper, especially during like their spring sale and their summer sales and stuff like that. Like, you can get some cheaper games than the pricing on the Oculus store. And then also, if I upgrade headsets in the future, I'd rather have a store that's going to work with any headset. So I really try to buy games on Steam, personally, but that's just me. I don't know if I'm gonna have an Oculus forever, but I am loving my Oculus Quest. And speaking of loving the Oculus Quest, obviously Oculus and Facebook are loving the Oculus Quest. Or are they? Because the rumor is they're working on a new Oculus Quest. The specs are supposed to be the same, which makes sense, because unless this was going to be like an upgraded model, then you have the risk of splitting your user base. The Engadget article goes over that a little bit as well, but that was exactly my thoughts. I was like, as an Oculus Quest owner, I'm like, if they put out this new Quest and it has better hardware, then what is that going to mean for the built-in games? Is it going to be like a PS4 or PS4 Pro experience where, you know, the Quest users can still play them, regular Quest, and then the upgraded Quest people get a better version of the game? Or is it just going to be like, boom, we're just not supporting the regular Quest anymore. These games work on this one, these games work on both, and that's it. So from the sounds of it, they decided to go the route of like a light version, more so than like an upgraded model, which it could stand to be a bit lighter, because the front of it is pretty heavy. So if they could find some way to move some of those components to the back to kind of balance out the weight, or maybe they have smaller components now, because it has been a few years, this is running off an older, you know, cell phone processor. So maybe that technology or whatever boards they're using have shrink, and they could bring the weight down and make it a little bit more comfortable. Like I said, it's not, like I said in my review, it's not completely uncomfortable, but you know, it'd be heavy. Like, your old head be like, I'm playing the Quest, leave me alone. You'd be falling over and stuff. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Speaking of disrespectful, Apple disrespected us for 5 years with these horrible keyboards, and they're finally dead because Apple launched the new 13-inch MacBook Pro, and guess what? It has the new keyboard. Now every laptop in their line, even the iPad got rid of the old crusty keyboard. Even they're on the new switches. All right, everything in their line that's current got rid of the butterfly switches. It has the scissor switches now. So they just moving on. They're like, you know what? We messed it up. What else? What can we say? We messed up. We're moving on. And that's exactly what they're doing. So it's basically RIP to the butterflies. I know y'all miss them. And you know, as a 2018 MacBook Pro owner, I'm definitely glad that I still got my butterfly switches. So really there's two models. There's the base model, and that still has the 8th generation Core Series processors, and it only has 2 USB-C ports. And then when you pony up to the model that's 1800 and above, that's when you get that new, that's when you get the 10th generation Core Series processors, and you get 4 USB-C ports. They both have the new keyboard. So basically the base model up to the one that's like $1,800, right before the one that's $1,800, are basically the same model as last year, just with the new keyboard, which some people, that's enough. That's more like, you know, the 13-inch regular MacBook Pro, even with the 8th generation processor, is gonna be more than enough for enough people. They're not gonna wanna pony up, you know, another $500 to go up to the model that has the latest and greatest. And they have it on their site. They're like up to 10th generation processor. Like what? Like when do you sell a processor? Like when do you sell a MacBook based on processor generations? Like why is that a thing that you would advertise? Like I can understand and be like, oh, this model is the i3, this model is the i5, this model is the i7, but they're all from the same generation. Like no, if you get this model, you get one that's 2 generations old. And then you get this model, you get one that's the newest and latest. Like I get they wanted to have that lower price one, and that's good and everything, but it's kind of weird. But if this is what you've been waiting for, yes, I've been waiting for this to say the official RIP. Well, no, I don't even want to RIP it because I don't want it to rest in peace. The official GR good riddance to the butterfly switch keyboard and all the issues you caused. I haven't had issues with mine yet, but my computer did almost blow up. So, whatever. I'm sure it's somewhat responsible. And our final story, Microsoft announced this week, instead of doing like one big, you know, video like they would do at E3, they're going to leak their information out slowly over the upcoming months about the Xbox. So they already started this week. There's like a 30-minute-ish. It's a little bit less. I guess like around 27 minutes. But 27-minute video. It's kind of the trailers that you would get at E3, like when they play the trailers back to back. That's pretty much what it was. It even had like the world premiere thing like you would see at E3. So obviously stuff that they had prepared for E3. But it showed off a bunch of games. And you know, they look good. I just, at this point, I kind of don't know what to think. Because it looked good, but it's like, you know, I'm already on PC. It doesn't look that much better than anything I saw on, you know, the Xbox or the PS4 Pro. The stuff that we have now, it looked a little bit better. You could kind of tell with some of the lighting that, you know, they were using some ray tracing effects. It looked good, but for me, it wasn't like, there was nothing that grabbed me and was like, oh, this is a must buy. Like, this is an experience I can only have on this new system. And that's what I was kind of afraid of with this upcoming generation when they started to show games, because it's like, are we really going to have that significant boost that we want? Like, are we really getting that out of the system? And I really don't know. I really don't think so. If you want me to be honest about it, I don't think we're going to see a big difference with the games at first. I think it's going to be later in the generation when they start being able to really take advantage of this hardware. Then maybe we'll see like some more significant differences between, you know, an Xbox One and an Xbox Series X type games. And I don't mean to like crap on it or anything. Like, the games look good. I'm not saying the games look bad. There wasn't anything that stood out to me as far as what I'd be interested in playing. One thing that I did find interesting though is they're really talking up the smart delivery. They made it a point to have a little pop-up whenever a game supported it, which is basically like you're gonna get the best version of that game on whatever system you're playing it on, aka if you buy the Xbox One version and you buy a Series X, you're automatically gonna get that Series X version of the game when you buy that system. So it wasn't supported by all the games they showed, it was supported by most of them. It's interesting that they're really talking up this feature. Cyberpunk already came out and said that they're gonna support it on the Xbox One and Series X. But yeah, the video's out there. If you guys are curious about what the Series X graphics are looking like, that video's out there. Go ahead and check it out. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I wasn't blown away by it. I don't know what I'm waiting for at this point. Now we've seen the front and back, and now seeing some gameplay, I'm just like, okay, just release this thing already. I think that's what I'm ready for. And I know what you're ready for, a nap. Me too. So let's bring this to a conclusion. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace.